Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, November 4th, and we are looking at Window Trader's market profile of SPY, IWM, and Triple Qs. New highs in all three of these indices today. We did not get a new high in the Dow, nor did we get one in the transports. And the transports, I think, are going to be a long time coming after why they hit their all-time high the other day. Triple Qs attempted to go trend 4 times to the upside today. Couldn't hold them. Yet they did hold their little gap. So they held everything from yesterday, and they held a small gap. Russell explodes up to the 241 level, only to have a double distribution day down and then 9 wide. So they have a double distribution day down after hitting an all-time high. They did hold the lower distribution from yesterday's triple distribution. Right? They had 2 sets of singles, so they took out the upper distribution, traded inside the middle distribution, and held the lower one. The buy is held. So it'll be interesting to see which day gets taken back first, today's or yesterday's. As far as us, we have a poor high at the all-time high. We do not take out our IB for the second time this month. So it's a rarity to begin with. We did it 2 days in August in the same week, and here we are doing it 2 days in the same week in November. Very interesting. We end 11 wide, so that's another day with an all-time high where we have a POC of 9 or more wide, as they can't get anything going once they make the all-time high. Although you got to give buyers all the credit in the world. Again, like I said, we have a poor high. Did not trade much. Went 0 for 3 today on some trades. Basically, after D flushed out, we traded inside of D the entire day, except for a little in E when we got below a little bit in F above, and then obviously when M does what M does. So we spent the entire day inside of D's flush out. And all that was shaking out week longs from this morning, not even the overnight. So this market is incredibly, incredibly long. Are we due for a good liquidation break? Yes, we are. Don't know when it will happen. It'll probably be a 1 or 2 day event, maybe a $10 push, pull back. But you would think it should come at some point, because I can't imagine with this volume and poor structure going up, we're going to be able to do it much longer. But I'm not trying to pick tops, that's for sure. We did gap higher, filled it, but never got near the price probe or our single prints from yesterday. Again, like I said, I took a small short early against the overnight high. Once it took it out and started going, got out for a loss. Then I took a long in C. When C came in, filled the singles, I'm like, okay, that's fine. If the market's that strong, we should not stop the one-time framing. I said I'd give it to B's low. Well, obviously D took out C. Once we took out B's low, out on that long for a loss. And then when D went down, I took a very small long against the opening. And when we got below the opening, I got out of it. And then obviously it went back up, but I got out of it. And that was it. So that's first time in a long time, 0 for 3 on the day, but nothing drastic money-wise, which is good. And then this, again, I've been frustrated the last 2 days. I sat and watched yesterday's whole action when it exploded because he was speaking for the last hour. Today, this, again, not my type of day, but whoever's shorted value high or long value low had an excellent job. I was waiting for us to either take out the day's low and either fade it if we didn't get much, or go with it if we went trend, and the same on the upside. But we didn't get it, so I didn't do anything. So the last 2 days have been pretty quiet on the trade front. As far as destinations, there's only one to the upside, 467. Nice round number, today's all-time high. For the downside, we have 11 wide. Look at everything we traded. We had half back, 11 wide, volume POC on the close and print went up here, but it was down here, and VWAP, all in a very tight range. So 466, 11 wide, downside destination. Then today's low of 464.99, and you should have everything I gave you from yesterday's downside destinations that I gave in last night's video. Now, let's go to the chart. Again, tomorrow we'll recap, and it should be interesting to see all three of these indices charts top down tomorrow after the close. But for today, we'll just look at the daily and SPY. Why? Because that's the only one that matters. Nothing could happen in the monthly or weekly until they stop one time framing up in the daily. So we're now one time framing up 6 days in a row. And before that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 out of 13 days were one time framing up. So we can take back a good $10 and we wouldn't even get to that first gap. The first gap, where is the first gap? 451 level. So literally we could come in $15 and still hold those 4 gaps. So this is why you don't pick tops or attempt to. We had 4 gaps in how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 4 gaps in 5 days. Everybody's like, this can't go any higher. Not only did it go higher, it exploded higher. And now we could come in 15 points and not even fill one of those 4 gaps. That's why you don't attempt to pick tops. Now, are we going to get what I've said and take back some of this? Absolutely we are. I don't think we're going to take all of it back, but we should take back a bunch of this at some point. And I would think sooner rather than later. Again, only 47 million on the tape, with the after hours still to come. On the intraday, it means nothing, but in this bigger picture, it means a lot, and that's why you get those flushes and shake out a bunch of weak longs. I hope you had a good day trading. Have a great evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.